All right, hi, grade eights. Look at this wonderful question. Hey, look, you got A, B, C, D, and E. Yes, lots of analysis to do. All right, let's get into it. You can buy work gloves from the Fix It Stores website according to the formula. So again, just to start again, what are we supposed to do? We have a word problem, okay? We have a word problem, and from the word problem, we're supposed to be able to do some analysis on, well, let's talk about the equation and let's talk about the table of values, okay, the TOV, as I like to call it, table of values, and the graph. Can we get a graph? And can we get an equation? Well, not surprisingly, I'm not even done reading this question, and it would appear they've given us an equation to work with right there, okay? And conveniently, of course, they've explained what the letters mean. So this is, good. All right. So the Fix It Stores website, according to the formula, you can buy work gloves and the cost will equal 5G plus 2, where C is the cost in dollars and G is the number of pair in gloves. So this might lead you to be asking, let's just use this one here. Well, why isn't the formula just 5G, right? I mean, what is going on with this plus 2? Well, it's probably another way for the store to make money. It doesn't say what the 2 is, and in fact, that's one of the questions down here. So we're going to save that, but for now, we're going to accept the fact that this is a 5G plus 2. In other words, instead of being a one-step equation, guess what, grade 8s? You're in grade 8, and you know how to do with two-step equations. Okie dokie? Okay, so this one, the formula is a little bit more complicated. It's not a very simple one-step. It's a simple two-step. And yes, I'm saying simple because in grade 9, whoo, lordy. Just wait till you see what we do in grade 9. It's fun. It's fun. Don't be scared. Okay, so bottom line. The bottom line is the cost for these gloves is equal to 5G plus 2. All right? And the cost depends on the amount of gloves you buy. So the cost goes here. The thing that is doing the depending, the cost depends on the G. It goes in the Y position and the G goes in the X position. Make a table of values. Use 5 values. Okay, so let's not start with 0. This time let's make sure we start with, like, we're going to buy at least one pair, if not 2 pairs. Well, then we could buy 3 pairs, and we could buy 4 pairs, and we could buy 5 pairs, all right? Unless I tell you otherwise, this side of the column can be usually, like in grade 8, it's fine to keep it simple, small whole numbers, all right? Okay, now let's find out what the cost is. Well, that means we're going to, instead of having the G here, we're going to swap in the number 1, and we're going to swap in the number 2. They're all going to take a turn here of being swapped in, substituted in for the G. Okay, so let me just start over here. So the cost is equal to, well, 5 times 1. That didn't look so good because that's supposed to be a bracket. 5. Now, instead of a G, I'm going to write the 1 plus 2. So what's 5 times 1 plus 2? 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is equal to 7. So if I buy 1 pair of gloves, that's equal to 7. All right? If I buy 2 pairs of gloves, so let's see what happens when I buy 2 pairs of gloves. So instead of this being a G, right, I'm substituting out the G for a 2. So 5 times 2 is equal to 10, right? And you have 10 plus 2, and that's equal to 12. All right. All right. What about if we were to buy 3 gloves? 3 pairs of gloves, not 3 gloves, 3 pairs of gloves. Well, then you've got 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 15 plus 2, and that's equal to 17. Okay? Now look, I think you're starting to notice a pattern. This number here is a 5. And it seems like as long as we, listen to this carefully, as long as we're going up by ones here, this one seems to be jumping up by a pattern as well. It's going up by 5. So I'm willing to bet this is 22, okay? But we can check it. So if the cost is equal to, let's see, it's $5 per pair of gloves. I'm buying 4 pairs of gloves. And there's this little constant fixed cost thing tacked on at the end, stitched on at the end, glued on at the end, however you want to call it. 20 plus 2 is 22. And look. So without doing it longhand, I think we're pretty confident at this point that this is going to be 7. Okay? All right. I'm just going to erase this part here because I know I've got a little wonkadoodle. And I'm just going to go back to blue. Okay. So again, what's the formula? The formula was the cost, the total cost that you're spending in terms of your money is equal to 5G plus 2. And now we did a table of values, okay? And yes, we obeyed the instructions. We used 5 Graph the ordered pairs, all right? I'll put down the pen, move my head over. I'll get some graph. This doesn't seem like a complex graph either, so I'll use my small graph paper, which I can always expand. That should be good enough. All right. So let's get labeling. Let's go with purple. I just felt like it. Okay, so this is going to be cost of gloves. Cost of gloves. That's our title. So by the way, we started here and now we did the table of values. The cost of gloves. All right, X, Y. I'm going to do this quicker now. This is the number of gloves. The number of gloves. G. And this is the total cost. You don't have to put the word total, but I like putting it because there's a second part to it now, right? So I like putting the word total cost. And of course, this is in dollars. Okay, so I could buy 1 pair of gloves, 2 pair of gloves, 3 pair of gloves, 4 pair of gloves, and 5 pair of gloves. I'll go up to 6 and I'll stop. Now, 7, 12, 17, 20. Those are really in between odd numbers. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the graph very readable. I'm going to go by 5s. And yes, the 7 and 12s won't, they're going to be in-betweeners, but well, c'est la vie. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm not going to label this conveniently by 7, 12. No, I'm not going to do that, okay? What you have to do, grade 8s, is you have to make graphs readable to the public people, right? If anybody off the street, your parents or someone was reading this graph, you got to remember, multiples of 5 are very easy to read. They're very easy to read. You got to leave it up to people to analyze on their own, okay? I'm just saying. All right? You can't just always, you can't force these numbers to work on your graph. I think going up by 5s is totally legit, easy to read. So your ordered pairs look like this: 1, 7, 2, 12. So I'm just basically rewriting the table of values in the ordered pairs format. 3, 17, 4, 22, 5, 27. Okay, so 1, let me just switch this now because I've been using the other color. Okay, so 1, 7. Okay, 2, 12. About there. And 3, 17. See, it's not easy, is it? That's okay. 4, 22. 4, 22. About there. And 5, 27. 5, 27. Okay, that one's probably a little bit high. So where are we here on the thing here? Okay, so yeah, we've graphed the ordered pairs. Perfect. Okay, we've graphed the ordered pairs. Okay, and what does it say? Does the relation appear linear? In other words, do the points line up in a straight line? Yeah, they do, right? It assumes you're not going to start at 0. So, are these points? Well, assuming my rough freehand draw of this, yeah, they appear linear. They are linear. So, yes. Yes. Now, it's because, all right, it's because the amount they're going up is a predictable I'm going to run out of room here, so I'm going to have to create some room down here. Actually, I can erase these ordered pairs now. Okay, this question obviously has a lot of questions. I know it's probably your favorite, isn't it, grade 8s? Yeah, definitely. Okay, in a predictable linear pattern. Okay, that would be my explanation. Okay? In other words, if you were to extend this table, right, could you predict the pattern? Is it predictable in a straight line? Yeah. The next one's going to be 32. Look, these are all 7s and 2s. So what? 32, 37, 42, 47. It's linear. Okay? Does the relation appear linear? Yeah. It's going up in a linear pattern. Are there any points possible between the ones? Okay? So the answer for D is no. You are not going to buy 2.5 pairs. There's no such thing as 2.5 pairs of gloves. I know all you smart Alex in my class, Hassan, Naveed, Abdul. I know all you guys are going to say, but Mr. Smith, you could buy 2 pairs and you could buy a single glove. La 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 la. Well, sure. You're right. You win. Let's see, what would this be? So the answer would be $14.50. So unless you are one of my lovely, wonderful, terrific, smart Alex, the answer is no. Just go with no. All right, rest of you, go with no. What might the 2 represent? I like this. I'm going to go back to this color. What might the 2 represent? Well, the 2 is what we call a fixed, okay, constant cost. All right, a fixed constant cost. So it doesn't matter how many or how little or how much gloves you buy. You could buy 1 pair, you could buy 40 pairs. You're going to pay an additional $2. Okay. Now, what might that be? I don't know. It could be a stocking fee. In other words, they're charging you just a little bit of money because they have to have those gloves in their inventory in the building, literally in the building, whether it's actually on the shelves or in the back room. Any of you kids work in retail, right? If you work with running shoes at Sport Check, some of the shoes are out on the shelves for the public and some of the shoes are in the back. So maybe they're charging you a storage fee. In other words, called a stocking fee. Maybe it's some sort of version of a flat tax. Maybe it's some sort of flat tax. Maybe it's S and H. And if you watch any television commercials, sorry, that's supposed to be an S. There we go. We could call that a shipping and handling fee. I don't know. You could make up anything here as long as it makes relative sense. Okay, but it's a fixed cost. It's not dependent. It's not dependent on the amount of gloves you buy. All right. Yeah, obviously, if you buy 0 gloves, you're not paying that $2. But from that point on, one pair of gloves, 6 pairs of gloves, 1,000 pairs of gloves, they're charging you the $2. They're going to get some of their money back for having the gloves in stock and available for you. Okay, that's it for that one, grade 8s. That was quite a meatball Subway sandwich there. This is a great question. Yeah, I know you agree. Talk to you later, grade 8s. Cheers.